Hey, it's James and Debbie Pask here. Just wanted to give you an energy update on what we think's been happening in the world in 2020. It's been a bit of a crazy year with COVID and lockdowns and a global economy. And we just wanted to share a little bit about how we feel, a few energy updates and what we've been up to. So coming to you live from Byron Bay, which is where we live now. What's been happening in the world for us is that this global COVID and lots of things that are going on in the world with the American voting system at the moment, all of these things are like the macro of what the micro world's happening on within us. So what we've been going through as an individual is also reflected in the greater world. So there's never a time that's better to go deeper within and to look at your own life and what's happening on that inner world. So in terms of energy updates, James and I are going to share our perspective of what we think's been going on in the world and how that's all playing out. So James, do you want to start?
Yeah, so I guess when we look at what's happening in the world, we can see that there's a lot of chaos in the world. And I guess when we think about creating the reality that we want, there's a real opportunity here for us to step into, being our co-creators with the universe, stepping into ourselves as a fractal of infinite energy, and therefore coming and standing and relating to ourselves and others from that place, rather than getting caught up in the stories of the mind that we create as we go along and live. We create all these stories and all these dramas and identities that we hold on to, and we don't step into that place of infinite knowingness and creation energy. And that's what the invitation is for us to go through this time, to step out of that drama energy and step into a co-creator space, connecting to your spirit. And the best way to do that is just to sit on the earth. So we so often we're caught up in the internet, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and all the things that are going on in the media and all this sort of stuff. And it's a real human story, mind, clutter type of energy. And it has a frequency, just like on the radio station, you tune into one radio station or another. And that radio station isn't necessarily going to serve you that much compared to if you simply go out, sit on the earth, connect deeper with the earth, literally just sit lower on the earth, or even low on the earth if you want, and connect to that other frequency, that other rhythm of nature. And that's a rhythm that has kept humanity healthy and connected and alive for millions and millions of years. And it'll really serve all of us at this time to connect with that energy and to come back to more of the heart space energy rather than the mind, and step out of that drama energy and into more of the earth energy, who has been a home provider for us for a long time. And like anything in life, we can see it feels like there's a lot of dismantling going on of old systems and old ways of being. And if we're going to build a new house, we don't just try and build it on top of the old house, do we? We have to demolish that old house brick by brick, take it down, deconstruct it before we can build the new house on top. Otherwise, we're just going to create a mess. And so I guess that's what's happening with us all internally in our own worlds. The old things that aren't serviced anymore, we can feel them coming up to come out. And that's happening in the world as well. The old things that aren't serviced, if it was been there, it's just the light shining on them. And so we're becoming more aware of some of the things that aren't really working in our world. And it's a good thing in a way. But as we dismantle the old ways of being and thinking and systems, it's a little bit uncomfortable. It's a bit messy, just like a demolition site is at a house. But the key thing here is to focus on where we're going, holding your focus on your dream of a better world the way you want it to be, focusing on the picture of the new house, the new, the way your own individual life wants to be, but also where you want to see the world going to make it a better collective, dream for all of us here on planet Earth. So just wanted to touch on the importance of that energy and focusing on, the dream rather than the drama.
Yeah, and it's a perfect time coming to the end of the year to do that. Every year we talk about what are you letting go of, what are you cleaning up, what are you tidying up, what messes are you sort of repairing. The end of the year is such a great time as we come towards, especially 2020, it's been a big year. The 2020 numerology is all about the 4, which is creating stability. And if anything, we've had a lot of curveballs thrown at us to create instability. And so the message here is, how do you create your stability within you, not outside of you? So the external world can change, things can happen that you don't have any control of, just like we've all been in lockdown this year in various stages. How can you control what's on your inner world, your inner rich life of stability? And going into next year, being 2021, is a 5 year. So that's all about change, communication, action, making things the way that you want to do them, speaking up, expressing yourself. If you're not happy with something in the world, what are great ways to speak up and express that? That can be safe and harmonious and peaceful. As James said, we want to create a better world here. We want to dream up what we want. We don't want to just fight with what you don't want. So a part of this is like, what frequency are you playing on? Like James said, if you're on a radio station channel, raise your frequency above the fight energy, or raise your frequency above being stuck in COVID or 5G or vaccinations or anything like that. Raise yourself to the next level and go, what do I want to dream up? And what frequency do I want to play in, so that I'm not stuck in other people's dramas or other fights or energies that aren't right. So for me, it's really a time to come to the end of the year, look at who you're hanging out with, what you're doing, what you're saying, what matters to you, and start to make some course corrections in the tribe that you're with, or the people that you hang out with, or what you follow, what you look at. As James mentioned on social media, like you can tune into what's important to you, or you can get stuck in chaos. So It's up to you to choose what you ingest and digest and eat and swallow and choke on. That is your choice. It's time to also, be out in the light and be in sunshine and be in illumination, and to create a better sort of, let more light in, and not synthetic frequencies like internet or EMF or Wi-Fi or even food. You want to be in natural, harmonious sort of energies and frequencies, which is mainly earth energy. In astrology too, with the Astro update, I know that throughout the year I've said a few things about key dates, but I know with world astrology, that planetary alignment of Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, which was around in the Spanish influenza time, which has recently spun together and fused this year, kicked off mid-January, and what happened in mid-January, COVID kind of kicked off, sparked up again in April, sparked up again in June. Those planets have also just clashed or infused again November the 12th. That was another big date. And in terms of astrology, they don't fuse again. This is the last round of them kind of clashing. Does that mean that's the end of COVID or end of what's happening? No, who knows that? But what it does mean is that there's a clearer energy in the skies and the astrology in the cosmos that's kind of freeing up that cluster of crazy intense energy. So looking into next year, it does look a lot cleaner and a lot freer. However, the effects of things like COVID will probably resonate and reverberate for a while, but certainly it looks like we've got a cleaner run next year, which is pretty exciting. What's meaningful for you and what kind of world do you want to create? That's what's to focus on.
Yeah, so in summary, get out in the sun. That's the light that shines down upon us. We want to get out in that light and that sun and get that consciousness upgrades. The law of evolution is the one great law, and we can be sure that we are all going to evolve in some way, shape or form. We can either get dragged along kicking and screaming, or we can be aware of some of these natural principles and energetic principles and go along for the ride, being conscious, aware and awake. So get out in the sun, eat lots of whole foods, meditate. Might not be socially appropriate to hug each other at the moment, but go and hug a tree.
Yeah, hug a tree, they're safe.
They're safe.
They don't have COVID.
Just connecting to nature. It brings so many valuable things to your life, is to go out and connect with nature. And I guess one of the things, we do have some free resources on our website. We created an internal quest at home, and there's some really good stuff that you can go through there that will help you during this time. But also there's a world healing meditation on that internal quest at home. I'd love for everyone to do that meditation, as many times as you can. And if a lot of us do that and we focus on dreaming up, and it's a dreaming meditation where we look at how you want the world to be. And if all of us are doing that together, it's really going to help access that quantum field and create this better place for all of us to live in, including, for nature and for us.
And I'll put a link to that in the bottom of this email as well that you're reading. The other thing, a few housekeeping things before we go. Rezinate has been upgrading some of its systems. So we're on a new e-learning system and a new payment system. So for you guys that are transacting with our site, thank you for swapping over to the new system. But for you guys that haven't been, we're doing heaps more online courses and things that you can access through Rezinate. So love to get your feedback on what you think about it. It's been a huge migration of data and work. And finally, lastly, and most importantly, we're doing an amazing groundwork challenge, which is all about how we can support nature and wildlife habitats. So we've joined the Bush Heritage Australia Groundwork Challenge, which is a fundraiser. So James and I are walking, rolling, moving in the dirt every day, just to do a picture of James in the dirt, so that we can really support the animals and flora and fauna of this planet, so that we can actually all give some healing back to those little beings that need us. So if you happen to be able to donate to our cause, all of the money goes to Bushwork, Bush Heritage Australia, which supports local species of Australian wildlife.
Yeah.
So thank you, and thanks for listening, and we hope you're all well and safe.
Take care. Lots of love.
Bye.